Another very interesting issue that where I was involved was when Saurav, India were playing a match at Calcutta, Pakistan, one-day match.
Okay.
And Saurav was penalized for slow over rate. If you remember one match.
Yeah, I remember.
I forgot the year now. Anyway, so after the game was over, the decision was taken that Saurav will be banned for 2-3 matches, whatever. So Jagmohan Dalmia called me up. It was quite late at night, around 9 o'clock. He said, Raju, what are you doing now, right now? I said, I'm having my dinner. Well, after dinner, can you spend 6 hours today?
6 hours?
6 hours, I know why. But I want you to watch the match and make note so that we can help Saurav not to be penalized, if you can. I've got the whole tape ready, absolutely ready and waiting. So I said, okay. So he booked a studio near our place and I went and watched. So I was making notes after every overdone. So after that I found it was very difficult to defend because Harbhajan was wasting time, India was wasting time. But one thing that went in our favor was Pakistan was also trying to waste time, you see.
Oh, okay.
But again, having said that, I think Indians were more to be blamed because they were taking a lot of time, setting the field, this, that, because it was a very close match.
But betting side was also wasting time.
Also. But the main thing that came to my mind was, I think that God helped actually. I found that day there was a lot of dew on the ground. Okay. And Indians were cleaning the ball, drying the ball after every delivery.
Okay.
So I wrote a very short note. Time lost, full stop, not time wasted.
Okay.
The headline was time lost,
Not
yes,
wasted.
but not time wasted. That was the headline. And it was quite a short 1 page. So I told Jagmohan Dalmia, Jaguda, it is almost impossible. This is the only thing I can do is to say, in my own way, that so much of dew, that is all due to nature. No man can do anything to stop nature. That is how I wrote. It is a very philosophical, religious kind of note.
The fact.
Fact is, so I went on saying that repeatedly. It is nature came into being, dew came into being, what can any individual do, what can a human being do? It's a very philosophical, religious kind of...
Good, great. But you
Now the story
took
is
the
very
fact
interesting.
that the time was lost.
Time lost,
That
I
was
wrote.
the fact.
That was a fact. Time lost, I wrote in broad headlines, but not wasted.
Okay.
And this was my version. Now something very interesting happened. Joguda appointed Siddhartha Shankar Rai to defend Saurav. And it was being done across the continent, I had no idea those days. Anyway, so I just did my job and most people in CAB said, oh Raju, this is something hilarious. So they were not too keen to give that report. Anyway, so now what happened is now Siddhartha Shankar Rai, when he was talking to the gentleman, this man was a justice from New Zealand who was the judge. The Ray, after everything was over, the justice gave it in favor of Saurav, in favor. Now Siddhartha Shankar Ray called up Jogu Dalmia.
Okay.
Bollo, something very funny has happened, That 1-page article by Raju Mukherjee changed the whole thing. Joguda, when he called me up, he said, Raju, you know what has happened? That 1-page report changed the whole picture. Is that really true? Well, yes. And he was very nice, I must say. He was told Ajkal people also. And they made a front page story on that. That is very nice of them. No other newspaper took it. But Ajkal did, I remember. Thanks to Ajkal, it came in first page. The idea was that a great lawyer like Siddhartha Shankar Rai, when he spoke, he must have put in so many other words about God and nature and so many other examples. And he made a lovely story out of the whole picture without bothering about Harbhajan, without bothering about Saurav, without bothering about field place. And he did not, he said so to Dalmia, I did not speak about cricket.
But your petition was excellent.
He said, I did not bother about cricket to the justice at all. Did not, because I realized time was wasted. That time was lost. I realized. So I did not bother about cricket. I went to the other one. The time was not wasted. It was done because of the due, because no one can fight nature. And this justice, gentleman, judge from New Zealand, he said, yes, that's fine, absolutely okay. So that was one major victory I can be proud of.
Sure, a great victory. So a small article, time lost but not wasted. You gave the fact that
That's
the
the
time
fact,
was lost.
yes.
That was
Actually,
the
what happened was, I watched the whole match, the full Pakistan batting I watched. And the whole match, half the match, Pakistan batting. So it's making note in between over, between balls, between. So I could make out too much of time was lost, too much. But there was so much of due because they were drying the ball. You see? And that is what you could harp on. The drying the ball, nature coming in, And Siddhartha Shankar Rai, being a great lawyer, he must have done wonderful. But he told Dalmia that was the paper that helped me to win. I was very happy about it.
But Dalmia himself is a great judge. You may say that he chose you to write notes.
Well, Joguda and I always got along in a very funny manner,
Yeah.
I don't think he really liked me initially that is. But as time went on, possibly he realized a few things which he need not have done. Possibly. And later he tried. But again, having said that, he was always supportive. Because when he wanted me to become the coach of Bengal under 16, actually before that I was only coaching St. Xavier's School. I did not coach anywhere else. I had no serious knowledge of coaching apart from I had taken a coaching certificate from England on sports psychology. But Yoguda always thought I'll be very good with young people. That was his idea. I want you to be. Initially, he said, seniors, I don't think seniors need any coaching. That is man management. Coaching karna hai, so I'll do it with under 16. He allowed me 10 years of that. So that was nice of him. And that really helped me to keep in touch with cricket. And that also helped me to become a talent scout. That also helped me to become match referee. So ultimately, stepping stones. So you can say Dalmia also was a great visionary, no doubt about that.
Administrator also.
Great administrator. Joguda, I always look at him from one view is, he had a heart. He had a heart in the sense, if you could convince him, whenever I spoke to him, I always used to blackmail him. If I asked for anything, I would say, what would you do if your son was in the team? If your son was in my team, what would you do? And then again he said, okay Raju. And so whatever I asked for, especially I used to like my boys to fly, we used to stay in good hotels, all these things, I used to ask for. Joguda initially said, Raju, how can I do it? But then again he would always relent and say, okay, go ahead. Because I always used to bring his sons into the picture. So if your son was here, I think you'd want him. So I always used to tell him, they are from Bengal. They are all your boys. They are all your sons. So if we don't look after them, who will? So I think it is your duty. And Joguda, being Joguda, that is what I feel, he had a heart of gold. He really had. And he really, charming man that was, charming of him, he realized I was not asking anything for myself. In fact, I normally used to take money from CV for them. That's another issue anyway. So idea was, I was only doing it for the others, for the young boys. And Joguda had realized that very well. He is only asking for the boys. So, and he used to grunt. Even after losing matches, we came back by air, which was quite... But it was done because Jagudalmia had a heart. He had a heart of gold. Heart of gold, yes.
Yeah. One former player said that Jaguda is a player's man. Players. He looked after players very well. Every time when they were in trouble, he looked after them.
Absolutely right. Joguda has always been a player's man. But then again, to be a good administrator, you have to be a player's man at the end of the day. But how do you handle? See, I have seen a man like Paulie Umrigar,
Yeah.
number one players man. If there was anybody in India who can be considered players man, that is Paulie Umrigar. He is the man who I had this idea of pension for players.
Okay.
You see, at that time I used to write for Sports World regularly.
Okay.
Most of my articles were about
Players' benefits.
players, not only senior players, and absolute nursery and senior players.
Okay.
I never used to bother about test players or first class players because I knew they were well established. I was only bothered about the nurseries of the game around the country, you see, especially Northeast. And about former players who are in penury, not doing well enough financially. And Paulie Umrigar was the man. And with Raj Singh,
Raj Singh Dungarpur. Yeah.
Raj Singh, Dungarpur, Paulie Umrigar, they were real players, man. They were very strict. Raj Singh was very strict, but he knew what he was doing, you know. He had a absolutely big-hearted person, and they really thought in a different manner altogether. Everything they did was for the benefit of others. That was fantastic. In India, actually, in Indian cricket, we are very happy, very proud that we have such people with us. We had, and we still have, I'm certain.
So you named Dalmia, Raj Singh Dungarpur,
Paulie Umrigar.
Paulie Umrigar, 3 persons.
Paulie Umrigar number one, in any sphere of life. Paulie Umrigar was in a different class of his own because he would listen to everybody. If you wanted to give him a suggestion, he would, believe it or not, a man such a great cricketer, such a wonderful, he would actually listen to you. And if he found there was something worthwhile, he would note it down and do it.